I'm Deep Mahaman, and you're watching the Redmen TV.
The thing for me on the Benteke thing, just to come back to it, is that you should have mentioned it there, Mike. Is this idea of the plan B or whatever? And the ultimate argument that is, if you're talking £32 million for a plan B, it's ludicrous. Yeah. Absolutely.
I don't think if it's a plan B, and it doesn't piss me off that we're being linked with Benteke at all. To be honest with you, I think I can see why people are annoyed, but equally, I think, you look at his goal record in the Premier League, he's done it in the Premier League. Yeah, he might not fit our style of play. We haven't got the wingers to cross the ball into him and stuff, but, sometimes you need to have a fucking body on you to hold the ball up. If you're playing one up top, how many players one up top use pace to get past 4 defenders? There's not that many in the world. You're talking an elite number of players. If you want to hold the ball up and you want to get a load of nippy attacking midfielders in and around the box, then unfortunately, I think you need someone who can hold the ball up, and especially when you need to keep possession and your team needs to transition up to them. Yeah. Someone like Benteke could be good for us. It's not worked yet, but equally, what have our target men been?
Carroll, Lambert. I think as well, let's look at some other teams who have done this. Let's look at City. Dzeko, is he a target man? No, he's got it all. Look at Lukaku. All right, we're talking about because it's the Blues here, but the season before last, quality player on the floor and in the air. Drogba, another animal, but similar kind of stature. These not, and I think Benteke is not all about the ball in the air. I think he's got good ground play, and he scores good
it's
goals.
It's because he was used. Look, Paul Lambert. Remember when we played Villa? Paul Lambert spent that whole game going. On the touchline, that's literally all he was doing, screaming at his defenders, Lord shit. And that, that's how Benteke's been used to great effect against us. Yeah. But he doesn't. It's not like he scored all headers against us, is it? Like, you mean?
To be fair, Paul, like the season before that, when he came to Anfield, he was fucking unstoppable. It's one of the best performances I've ever seen from a striker, and they weren't lumping it that day. Yeah. They played good football that day. So if we can get that Benteke, then great. But I think the elephant in the room is Andy Carroll, isn't it? We've still got this fucking big lump in our minds.
Is he over there? Is he?
There he is.
Yeah, thanks.
And I think people can't get that out of the mind of like.
And you as well.
And Ricky, get Ricky down. Is Ricky on there as well?
Fuck off. Fucking Ricky. Oh, so's Rick. So we've left Gerrard and Carragher up there with Brucey and Rushy. That's fine.
Oh, they can stay. That's all right.
I can't believe you've been Suarez.
Well, let me hear me, man. I'm not recovered yet. I'll get the 3D printer back out and we'll have a fucking Benteke one next week. We sound. If we've got him.
Yeah. Like I say, I get the thing for me about the Benteke. What it comes down to is that it's no glamour signing, is it? Ultimately, and he's probably an effective sign. And I understand. I think as it goes down to that, it goes back to the Carroll thing. It's the Lambert thing. It's the Balotelli thing. We haven't seen any evidence under Brendan Rodgers that he knows how to make the most of someone with those attributes. And we also know there is it's a very easy temptation for centre halves to totally throw out the window this let's play tiki-taka, pass it round.
When there's an easy option.
There's a very easy long ball up to your centre forward. That being said, Liverpool last season, when we started to get some more success, we fucked off a lot of that senseless passing it around and went a bit more direct, and we looked better for it. But we had Raheem Sterling leading the line, and there's a world of difference in a very basic biological sense between Christian Benteke and Raheem Sterling leading the line. And I think you said it there, Chris. For me, I'm not thrilled with us being linked with Benteke at all. But if you're putting all your real talent on in that Liverpool squad, and it was, last season was Raheem Sterling, Phil Coutinho, and Adam Lallana, and we needed to find a way to get those players on the pitch as much as possible. If you're going to play them, you need to have someone proper leading the line, and you don't want a static lump. You know what I mean? You don't want somebody who's just someone immobile.
And I don't think Benteke.
No, I disagree. I think he is very, much more dynamic. He's been credited for.
Yeah, I think like that sort of cliche is he's got good feet for the big man, But I think Benteke, he actually does. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? He has got more about him than that. He isn't just a big lump.
But you need a striker who can occupy 2 centre backs as well, and Benteke will do that. That's what creates spaces for these attacking midfielders and stuff, and that's what we'll see more out of our attacking midfielders for having a man.
But what about goals though?
Can I just what's the fundamental difference between Christian? And I've not seen loads. I've seen every game he's played against us, and I've seen a few bits and bobs on top of that. The difference between him and Balotelli and Lambert and Andy Carroll is you won't see Christian Benteke playing 40-yard cross-field passes on the halfway line and standing there and admiring them. And I know Lambert did less of that, but all of the three players ultimately we listed there did all of their best work coming deep. Crouch is another one as well. You know what I mean? Love to drop deep and pick the ball up and link it up or look to try and make things happen. Benteke is probably slightly more limited in some respects. He's probably not as good a footballer in that, but great. You know what I mean? Get him further up the pitch. Let the people around him, let them swarm. Football destroying flies.
I love that idea, right? Even with the football destroying flies, brilliant.
This is the shit.
I love that idea. Yeah. No, I like the idea of having a fulcrum with all of our nippy players playing around that. And what you said before, Chris, spot on, absolutely spot on. Somebody that we can use while we transition. We were crying out for that last year, out for that. So I'm all over that as a concept, great. But I think it's a question of, well, if it's him and then nothing else. Do you know what I mean? So, okay, yeah, I could get behind the idea of Benteke in amongst the four strikers that were where there was a couple of others that were boss. But really what we've got is one who's really injury prone and another two who are really unproven at top level innings. And
it's another gamble, isn't it?
We need, and I don't want to gamble. I want a sure thing. You know,
we've done nothing. Mike, we've done nothing.
No, I know.
We've done nothing but gamble. No, you know what? You're absolutely dead right there. But I think in terms of how many seasons, and I said again to go back to the analogy from the other week. How many times we've poorly armed ourselves going into a Premier League season.
There
was a baguette analogy last week. I won't bother. Like I say, Jason Bourne can win a fight with a rolled up magazine, but that's because Jason Bourne's fucking amazing. Yeah. You know what I mean? Most of us would want a sword or a gun. You know what I mean? And unless you're fucking amazing, and we're not, unfortunately, because we're not right up there. We need to arm ourselves in the best possible way, and I do exactly what you're saying there. An injured Daniel Sturridge. An completely unproven Divock Origi, a barely proven Danny Ings, and Benteke, who's probably the most proven of those other three.
But still went a long time without scoring any goals at all for Villa.
I like that. I actually liked the fact that he came back after that and showed the characters to then go and score.
To be fair, he had his Achilles, didn't he? And he came back in October.
I know he was injured, and I know that Villa was shit at the time. So I can get behind the idea that when Villa were playing well, he was banging them in. So hopefully he'll show that if we get him. But I'm not convinced by him at all. I'm
not. I think when I look at it in as objectively as possible, and I look at the attributes that he brings and the potential of what those could mean to Liverpool, and I throw out these preconceived notions of this brand of football that Liverpool are going to play, I feel that we could play a far more effective style of football with them involved, and I trust that because Brendan Rodgers still has that ethos of playing good footy, we can hopefully try and find a meld between just playing the fucking absolute fucking bag of wank, fucking knock it around football that we've done at times under Brendan Rodgers, but also find it not going all the way to David Moyes, fucking what I mean, fucking Sam Allardyce, Tony Pulis kind of footy.
And also, to be fair, if you think about some of the footy we played last year, which at times was terrible, there's no way that putting Benteke into that doesn't make that better.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, I was going to say also, someone said to me a while ago, Benteke, who was very pro Benteke, look at all the best teams, especially in the Premier League, that have won league after league, like the Chelseas, the Man United, even you could argue the Cities of late. They've always had the ability to put the ball in the box and score a goal. We haven't got that. Sturridge playing, no. Benteke bullies, he takes over areas on his own.
Yeah. No, I love that. He does occupy a whole zone of the pitch. I agree.
2-3 players have to mark him.
Yeah. Right, we're going to cut you off there because we're bellends. If you want to watch the full video, go on the redmentv.com. It is completely free for the first month. You can try it. If you like it, you can keep it, and it's £2 a month. If you don't, you can fuck it off and get on the rest of it. Head, shoulders, knees and toes. Get on with the rest of your lives. Thanks very much for watching. The link to the complete show will be at the end of this video. Check it out.
3, 4, 5, 6, speed it up, Phil. 7, 8,